What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 2 for 2, your sports podcast for the culture, by the voice of the culture. I'm your host, Keith. I'm here as always, my brother Nell, and we back on the pod today for you guys, man. We got another episode of season 3, episode 93. Let's get it. Nell, my guy.
What's going on, man?
Guy.
Good to see you.
Hey, man, I'm glad you can see me, and I'm happy to see you. Be on the
Good to
pod.
be seen.
Things are happening. We got the conference finals.
Big week for you.
My Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. Clap it up, man. Come on. Started off with a clap. Come on, man. Thank you. There we go. Now, wow. Wow. We got new blood in the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, actually, sort of. Right? My Knicks are in the ECF for the first time in 25 years? Something like that. 25 now. 25 of my 25 whole ones. And the last time we were in ECF, we played the Pacers. Actually, I think I saw a stat that the last 4 times the Knicks have been to the Eastern Conference Finals, they played the Pacers. Shout out to Reggie Miller days.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good rivalry.
Right.
Great to have it back.
Yeah. Then on the West side, Western Conference, we got Ant-Man back again with the Timberwolves, and they got the Thunder. Wow.
Two good matchups.
No Steph, no LeBron, no Kevin Durant, no Jokic, no Giannis. But think about those first 3 guys, man.
Still no Embiid.
And so, yeah. But think about it, man. Are the days, is this officially a young man's league? Are the days of the Stephs, LeBron, the KDs dominating playoff runs year after year? Is it over?
I think it might be. As sad as it is to say, we got to see what happens with Mr. Durant in the offseason, see what kind of team he can go to. I mean, I've been saying it for months. These 3 just need to team up and see what they can do. That's about the only chance they got. They need to come together and team up to try to take out these young cats, because it's going to be tough. Now, I think the Warriors might have the best opportunity maybe to get back. I do think that Timberwolves Warrior series is a lot different if Steph Curry's healthy and able to play. But
Absolutely.
Jimmy's going to get another year older. Steph's obviously going to be another year older. See what kind of additions they can make to that team, because they still had plenty of flaws that would have prevented them from winning a championship. The Lakers with Luka and LeBron, they can definitely, depending on what they do to put around that team, they kind of had the same issues with size. I mean, you could say that there's a chance, but when your best players are that age, it's difficult, and we're seeing it with these young cats in OKC, Minnesota. Obviously, you look at teams down the line. Houston is certainly on their way. They're making a name for themselves. You look on the East, you got Detroit, Orlando, Knicks, Pacers, obviously. So
I was waiting. I was waiting for you to get there.
There's just a lot of youth and a lot of different teams kind of coming together. The thing with the collective bargaining agreement, making it harder to kind of stack the deck, and that's kind of what's helping some of these small market teams make these runs. You got Wembanyama on the West, kind of waiting to see what the Spurs can do in the future. So I think it's going to be tough for the big 3, the OGs, to kind of get back to that promised land the way these young cats are looking, and they're only going to get better. I mean, if OKC wins the championship this year, I mean, as young as they are, I mean, there's only so much more room for growth. Knicks and Pacers, I mean, Knicks, that core is pretty much together for next couple of years. Halliburton's still young. Ant-Man's only 23. I mean, these guys are only going to get better, and they're already taking the league by storm.
Yeah, it's dark, man. It's really dark for the OGs. I've been saying that it is just that kind of league now, right? It's just a young man's league. You see those teams like the Thunder, right? You talk about Houston, those up and coming teams, the Pacers, the Cavs, right? They're a young team as well. These teams go on and they have guys that play all season, right? You're not seeing injuries, major injuries to these teams. You're not seeing load management games, right? Like these older guys, they're just nice. They're just not gonna play, right? They're elite, but the way their teams are built, they're built around them and primarily their availability, primarily how well they play. I mean, even LeBron and Luka, you bring Luka over, that's another mega star. But you think before that, right? The Lakers and AD, well, the LeBron and AD on the Lakers, they weren't head and shoulders showing that they were going to win a championship, right? Like we weren't thinking that. You lose AD, you bring over Luka. Okay, they didn't have a big. We knew that was going to be the problem. They lost, right? Steph gets hurt for the Warriors. You added Jimmy to take some pressure off of Steph, but at the end of the day, if there's no Steph, these other teams aren't even built to even be able to compete. And then you add with Steph, right? Like they're still going to get ran down by a young, hungry Timberwolves team that has a young star that's 23 years old. They have another Julius who's young. They have Walker, like all these guys that are just over there, McDaniels that are playing night in, night out hard. Like they don't. And the thing about this era now is like these young guys are not afraid of these dudes. They going at you now. Like at
And
the end of the day,
they want the smoke.
They do. They really do. They really want the smoke. Like they want that game. They want to be able to go at you and say they beat you. Like so, these rosters have to that these guys are going to be on. Like you said, it damn near has to be all three of them to go play together to have a shot. Because it's just like if you look at all of their rosters, you're not keeping up. It's not going to happen. And I think it requires something out of those guys that at this point in their careers they shouldn't have to even provide, right? It shouldn't require 100% Steph to win you a ball game. It shouldn't require LeBron having to give effort on offense and defense. Excuse me, and be that playmaker that he is at this age in his career for you to still win. And same goes for Kevin Durant. I feel like great for them that they're still able to play that level, but the league is not. You're gonna get worn down. Like you're gonna get worn down. The Thunder are gonna throw 5 guys at you that's young and hungry and they don't care, right? The Rockets are gonna throw 3 guys at you, and that's just to get out your conference. We're not even talking about what's out on the Eastern Conference. So unfortunately, yeah, man, I think this is just a new age, and this is what you're gonna see. These teams are just deeper. It's not so many, you know, who's my number 2, right? You got a really good number 1. You got a bunch of dogs around them, and your number 1's a dog. That's what you see, right? Like, that's kind of what you see all around the Eastern Conference Finals. They got a head guy, and the supporting cast. They do what they do. They specialize on all fronts.
I'll say I think I said the Warriors earlier, but I think LeBron might have the best chance to maybe at least get back to a conference finals or finals, at least because he, like you said, these guys can't be number 1, having to give 100%, excuse me, to lead their team to a championship. We've seen the kind of Superman efforts LeBron's had to put up to get some of those Cavs teams out of the East. He can't do that anymore. We saw what Steph did in, what was that, 2022 or something like that, the last championship where he got his first Finals MVP. I don't think these guys can do that anymore.
Otherworldly stuff.
And Steph and Jimmy, Steph is clearly the best player on that team. LeBron's got Luka. He doesn't have to be the guy. So I mean, I think if the Lakers can get the right supporting cast, they certainly got a chance.
Right. If the Lakers get that athletic big that they need, that can defend the rim and rebound, they have a great shot at it. Because at the end of the day, like you said, they got Luka, and LeBron can just be LeBron in the flash when he needs to.
Which would be that's an all-time great number 2 option.
Exactly. He's gonna still average damn near 25 for the rest of was this the first year he didn't average like over 25, or was it 25?
Yeah, it
Was
was
that
like
the number?
24.9,
Yeah, yeah,
24.8.
like okay, right? Like you're still getting that. So if you can go get you know, a legit big, which I think they have a shot to do in the offseason, and you know, maybe some better shooting around them, they can build that team up and they have a shot at it. But yeah, man, it's gonna be it's tough to see. You know, maybe you'd love to see a KD go to one of those younger teams, right? You know, like we talked about with the Rockets, and people, you know, flirted with the idea of the Thunder. You know, that'd be cool, right? To kind of give us another opportunity, but as is, man, it's not gonna be be right. But we also prefaced Jokic in that list of guys, and we see him going down in Game 7 um, against the Thunder, right? And it was in pretty embarrassing fashion. I mean, let's call it what it is. It didn't really have a shot, or it wasn't really. It was what it was, right? Tough to see him go out like that. Obviously, Aaron Gordon's injured, but would you say right now that the Nuggets are wasting Jokic's prime?
They're getting there. I think they've got to show a serious effort to try to get this team a bench, try to get
Yeah.
some more pieces to contend for another championship. I think because of how masterful Jokic was in their championship run, and then bringing back pretty much the same starting five, you lost. No, yeah, they had KCP after the championship, so you bring back that same starting five. They lost Bruce Brown, but I think Jokic was so masterful that people were just like, I mean, myself included, I thought they could have, won back to back or possibly three in a row. Because I'm just like,
Yeah.
how do you stop this offense with Jokic, just getting 30-point triple doubles, and the way he ups his game in the playoffs? I think he led every category this postseason: points, steals, rebounds, double doubles, like threes, something like that. So I think they were just so used to his greatness. They're like, oh, well, we don't have to go out and replace Bruce Brown. We don't have to then replace KCP because we just got Jokic and play off Jamal Murray. And they were just banking on that, kind of getting it back to the finals. But, you ran into some teams that didn't look like Jamal looked like when he
Right.
plays the Lakers every time. And then all the onus is on Jokic to kind of make those plays. Aaron Gordon, who probably had his best playoff run, and
Yeah, for sure.
unfortunately tried to thug it out with the hamstring injury and gave it all he had, but you could just see he wasn't really going to be much effective in that game. But he was having the best playoff run of his career. But before that, he was just somebody kind of put in the dunker spot. Wasn't really a great 3-point shooter. Michael Porter Jr.'s up and down. He had a shoulder injury this year. So it was just too much pressure on Jokic to be great. And I mean, he was great. I mean, he pulled out some just classic games that we talked about for generations. But you've got to put some talent around him. Christian Brown's come on, and he's been a great find for them. But they need some bench guys. You got to have some more shooting around them. They haven't had enough shooters. You go out and you bring in Russ, who I thought played great for them and some great moments, but he's not the
Yeah.
shooter. Like every team in the postseason is going to be okay with Jokic finding Russ for an open three. They'll live with that. So you want to get some more shooters around him because you've seen like it's not much you can do. You're either going to leave
Yeah.
someone open or Jokic is going to cook down low. And this year, he still got his, but you saw, especially against OKC, the assists started to come down, the turnovers went up. Just couldn't rely on his teammates as much as he did during that championship run.
Yeah, it's tough because I agree with you. Like, yeah, you're wasting it in the sense of, to your point, it's not enough around him, and it's kind of obvious, right? But it's also the tough part is what do you do with Jamal Murray, right? Like, I mean, you can't move him. Like, do you bring in another guy that's probably contesting with him being your number two? Like, are you okay with Jamal Murray as your number two?
I
Is it
think
something as
they're.
simple
I
as
think
that,
that's.
or is
I
it,
think
or
that's
is it
fine. I think
just
they've proved as a duo they can win a championship. I think like Michael Porter Jr. had plenty of games this year was just ineffective. I forgot which game where he had 2 points.
yeah? I feel like he's the obvious person they need to move on from, and in
Yeah,
terms
I
of
mean
that
he's
starting
making
five.
he's making big money, like, and they just need other pieces around them. Like I who you got Peyton Watson off the bench. He's like I
what
like him
happened
as
to
a player,
that dude
but
that they signed? They get that contract. Zeke Najee, is that his name?
Oh yeah, I forget his last name, but I don't know. He wasn't in the rotation. You still playing DeAndre Jordan as a backup big. I mean that's no bueno. He's pushing. He's probably in contention with Braun for oldest player in the league.
Yeah, like, yeah. That's a clear problem. The fact that you can't get more anybody else, that's the problem.
You just got to put. I mean, if he has the type of elite shooting around him that OKC has, or even like Boston, Indiana, like he would be picking teams apart, and he's still picking OKC, but still picking OKC apart for the most part. But I mean, other guys got to be able to knock down shots and come along for the ride with him.
Yeah, it was a clear burden. Oh, excuse me. On Jokic this offseason. Like you said, you're okay with him getting his essentially. Right, his numbers, his assist numbers weren't as great as they normally are. He didn't have much help all around him. And then we talked about the youth of the Thunder, and a team like that just throws bodies at him. I mean, you're watching the game, and they're just swarming him. Like, sometimes they foul him, sometimes they not. You can get away with it because just rough him up because you're not getting much from anybody around him. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be much. I agree with you in the sense of the number 2 doesn't have to be elevated. But you can't even name 10 players on the Nuggets right now. And that's not good. And they're still insanely good because of that man.
I mean, they were pretty much a 3 and 4 man team for most of the year. Yeah. And you fired your coach 3 games before the playoffs, and he still almost got you to the conference finals. So get him some more talent, and I think they'll definitely be in position to win another one.
Oh yeah. So, hey, my boy said he decided he's looking forward to some beer. So, Jokic is the funniest
he
dude ever.
He can get back to his horses a little earlier.
He was. people were low key questioning him, saying what he said about obviously the team can't get it done because we didn't.
So, I mean, it's the facts.
The man speaking facts. So, get Jokic some help over there, but the conference finals are what's important, man. That's what's in front of us. Like we said, Knicks, Pacers on the East, Thunder, Minnesota in the West. We got some really cool storylines. WWE's pushing Halliburton and Brunson merch.
Triple H crazy.
Triple H is really loving it.
They are milking it crazy, yo.
He's milking it. And then on the other side, man, we got the Young Guns, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the probable, likely MVP versus Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, and the Timberwolves who are back for blood after they lost last season around these parts. Wow. What do you think, bro? Like, how's this thing about to go? Man, who you rolling with?
I'm excited. I'm excited for, like I told you before we hopped on, I'm excited. As excited as I've been in a very long time to watch the conference finals. I think, these are 4 teams. Obviously, the Pacers were there last year, but, overall, these are 4 fresh teams, new teams that, other than OKC, nobody really expected to be here at the start of the year. I mean, Knicks had, some expectations, but going into the playoffs, nobody really expected that, especially when they had to play Boston in round 2. But here we are, and it's going to be some good basketball. So what series we starting with?
Let's go with Minnesota.
Yeah, I knew you was going to say that. I knew you was going to say that so we could talk Knicks last.
Technically.
I knew you wanted to talk Knicks last.
The series is how it goes in order, right? That's the first game, then the Knicks and the Pacers second.
Whatever, man.
Why not talk about the West? That's what we're going to see first.
I got you, yo. You want your Knicks to be the main event.
That's what we're going to see first.
The entree, I get it. So let's get to it.
I would never do that.
Yeah, sure. Let's get to it, man. Wolves OKC, should be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm worried about how the Timberwolves are gonna fare in this one because of the simple fact that after watching how the Thunder defended Jokic, after seeing how OKC has guarded Ant in the past, I'm worried.
Yeah, OKC's
it's gonna
number
be
one defensive rating in the playoffs.
It's gonna be a lot of Caruso, Dort, Wallace, Isaiah Joe, like.
But you know who's the second best defensive team in the playoffs this year?
Timberwolves.
Minnesota Timberwolves. But I'm going with OKC too.
I didn't say I was going OKC.
Oh.
I'm not gonna say that.
Okay.
I'm just saying I'm worried. But that man Julius Randle is about to have a chance to prove a lot of people wrong.
I feel like he already proved people wrong.
I mean, absolutely. How he's been playing this playoffs is amazing. I mean, I'm happy for the guy, you know?
Anything else is...
Wish he wasn't hurt.
Cherry on top.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's hooping. I think I want the Timberwolves to win. That's what I'm saying. I want them to win. I feel like they have a shot. I feel like I'm worried because how they're going to defend Ant, but I think the Timberwolves are going to have a chance to take advantage of some of the when they double Ant, right? Playing off of that with 3-pointers with DiVincenzo. Obviously Ant can shoot the tray ball, Julius can shoot the tray ball, Nasri can shoot the tray ball. I think contrary to what the Nuggets had, where they didn't have as much shooting around the floor, I think they'll have a chance to kind of make plays off of that. And I think that Ant will be able to kind of master whatever it is. I feel like he's one of those guys, and Shea is too. That they kind of, when they get that edge and it's on, it's kind of on. But I think Ant has a special it to him, and I think the Timberwolves. I think Rudy Gobert will be pretty vital in this series, even though I'm not a big fan of his. Obviously, OKC's not that. They're not that big, right? I mean, Hartenstein plays great. Chet's great, but I mean, Rudy's massive. Pause. I'm rolling with Timberwolves, man. I got a good feeling. I'm worried.
You ain't speak this nicely of Rudy when we had our round one.
I didn't. I said he's huge. All I said is he was huge.
Pause, bro.
But is he 7 feet?
I didn't deny that.
Well, I gotta pause.
But I mean, look, Ant-Man, he's been that guy. Like, he's been a legend killer this postseason, but a couple of things gonna have to change if they want to make this a series. Now, I think it'll be a lot. I think it'll be pretty close. He's a little more fresh. I think he'll be a little more fresher in this postseason. Well, in this matchup in the Western Conference Finals, as opposed to last year, you had the 7-game series against Denver. Then, he's chasing around Kyrie and Luka. So that kind of wore him down, in his first run. I think he'll learn from that experience. And, I'm sure they'll probably put McDaniels on Shea, and Ant might, spend most of the time on J-Dub or something like that. And, J-Dub's an all-star, really good young player, but it ain't like chasing around Kyrie or Luka. So I think he could spend a lot more energy offensively, but he's got to be more efficient. Only shot like 36%, 31% from three in the regular season, and a couple games against them.
Yeah.
They got to take care of the basketball, averaging 15 turnovers a game. Obviously, the Warriors, without Steph Curry, weren't really scaring you offensively, so you can get away with turning the ball over like that. But against OKC, who obviously we saw what they did against Denver and Jokic and forcing him into 5 turnovers in Game 7. So I mean, if they can turn somebody like him over, a team that's already prone to turnovers and can have erratic offensive possessions from time to time, it's a scary matchup from that perspective. Just for the way they can play defensively. And I don't feel like the Timberwolves have truly been tested. Like, Lakers, they had a huge size advantage. Same with the Warriors, and, couple that with Steph being out. Just don't feel like they've truly been tested. And that's why I like OKC in this, but I think they have a chance just because of how good they are defensively. OKC hasn't shot the 3 as well as they did in the regular season so far this playoffs. Shea's shooting under 30%. I think they're shooting 31% as a team. So, I mean, OKC's got to knock down their open threes when they get a chance. They had Dort and Joe. They had a lot of good looks against the Nuggets, but got to be able to knock those down. So yeah, I think I'll take OKC in 6 or 7. I'm not ruling Ant-Man out, but I think they're the best team. OKC's the best at forcing turnovers, and they're the best at taking care of the ball. Shea's been great. The 3 ball hasn't been falling, but other than that, he's been efficient. We know he can get to the bucket, the mid range. If J-Dub isn't putting up his tour dates, they'll be fine. But I think, especially if he isn't as efficient offensively, and they're still struggling shooting the ball from 3, I think it'll be a close 6-7 game series. But if they start finding a groove from 3, and they're frustrating Ant offensive on defense, it could be a gentleman's sweep. Wouldn't surprise me, but Ant not going out like that again. So
yeah,
I trust him to at least get this to 6 or 7. And once you get to 7, anything can happen. But I wouldn't want to play a game 7 in Oklahoma City. That crowd.
Yeah. No, the crowd is crazy. And I think this series will show a lot about the maturity of Ant Edwards. Like you said, he's been close before. We want to see him be more efficient. Like you said, he had some 30-point games last series, but outside of that, it was a couple nights where it was like, all right. And like I said earlier, like Julius Randle has been playing amazing, which helps, right? Nas Reed has been playing good, that helps. But we're gonna need Ant to really, not let the Oklahoma City defense frustrate them, because like we're saying, they're gonna throw 3-4 guys at you. They're gonna foul you, right? They're gonna make your night tough, and that's their goal. But if you're gonna show us, you're really that man, you've played through that before, so you gotta do it. And I think the series goes 7, and what you said about if it goes 7, I think if it goes 7, if anybody is gonna be able to walk into OKC and play in that crowd and get them one, is Ant. So I'm going with Ant in 7.
Okay.
You really want
this? You really want this Knicks Timberwolves matchup?
Who did I tell you I didn't want to play in the finals?
Was it the Timberwolves?
It was the Thunder. No, sir. Go ahead and get it done for us, Ant. Come on.
Yeah, I was reading today. Someone said if it's OKC in New York, that might be. They said they said that OKC might win that in historic fashion.
No.
I was like, damn, I don't think it's that much of a mismatch.
That's OD. Nah, we've had some good games with the Thunder. Yeah, we've had some good games with the Thunder. But I don't know. It would probably not be fun.
They got some bodies they could throw a shade.
They gonna hound my boy Bronson. We play too much 1-on-1. They gonna be in that zone. We gonna be looking crazy. We gonna be like, well, here's what we gonna run. And be like, bro, get the ball to the middle. We got Cat.
Going to see Luke Dort for 7 games.
Bro, just trying to hurt Brunson. I've seen this before. Ain't got us. Give the people what they really want. Nobody wants to see the Thunder in their finals.
Okay. I told you last week I would love the Timberwolves Knicks matchup for the storylines.
Yeah. I really could see OKC winning this. Like a lot of this is just me leaning more to who's my next generation favorite player. Like I'm still slightly an Ant lean. So that's all. But Shake is still back with this. I'm excited for the series nonetheless, right? Like you said, this is we're gonna watch some really good basketball. These are two of the best, or the two best defensive teams in the playoffs right now. So it's gonna be a battle. The West series.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's hitting 130 or 120 in the series.
Oh no, it's gonna be physical. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good series. I like what the NBA is kind of coming out to be. You know what I'm saying? We're moving into that new era.
And Shea could be the future rivalry.
That could be it for the West. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, get it rolling, and they can go toe to toe. But speaking of dramatics, man, out east,
the rivalry,
right? That's an original right there. Knicks Pacers. That's an original rivalry. We get Richard Jefferson, or not Lord, Richard Jefferson, Reggie Miller. I'm just thinking about a ball dude. We get Reggie Miller to call every single game.
Oh, it's Eastern Conference Finals on TNT. I like that.
We get Reggie every single game. What better way, man? Knicks Pacers, Halliburton, Brunson, rematch from last year's what was it? I guess the second round. Where the Knicks lost in 7. Pacers beat us. We ain't have no players. Brunson broke his hand. Julius was out. Mitchell Robinson was out.
Starting with excuses is crazy. Nobody actually followed this.
I'm just giving context for the people in case they didn't know.
Let me also offer some context. Pacers walked up in there and scored, what was it, 120, 130 on like 67% shooting. Dog walk, y'all.
Let's remember game 3, Nembhard heaved the shot up and saved them because the series was going to be over.
Sometimes you need some heroics.
Guess what? It's a new year. It's a new life. A new team. Pacers, Knicks. I would love to hear the valuable perspective that you have on this game because I'm curious.
I mean, where do you want me to start with? What the Knicks need to do? What the Pacers need to do?
What do the Knicks need to do to win this series?
Knicks, they got to play 48, man. Got to play 48. Can't be getting down 20 because Pacers, they not just going to sit back and shoot 63s.
Also, they're the Sirs now.
What?
Yeah, bro. If you look at all their branding, it just says like Sirs.
Well, that's corny, but
they're the Sirs. I look it up. I'll send you a picture after this.
That's news to me.
I'll find it right now. Go ahead.
But they play fast. They play smart. They play patient. They don't turn the ball over. Halliburton make sure they get a good shot almost every possession. They can knock down the 3, but they try to get into that paint. They run a lot of pick and roll. So I mean, Cat's gonna have to step up defensively because Halliburton's gonna be coming for him. And I mean, offensively this postseason, I mean, you look up pretty much any offensive stat, and they're tops in all of it. Assists, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, offensive rating. So they've got to bring it for 48 minutes. This Pacers team can be beaten, but you rarely see them beat themselves the way we saw Boston beat themselves multiple times against the Knicks. The way we saw the Pistons beat themselves a couple times against the Knicks. Like I said, they don't turn the ball over. But for the Knicks, I think because they were in, pretty much they were in 2 dog fights first 2 rounds. And I think you saw that they got each matchup kind of made them better. Knocking off the champs. Pistons were a young, gritty team with nothing to lose. I think there's going to be a lot of relief. Not to throw any shade at the Pacers, but like I said, it's not defensively. They're not challenging you the way Boston and Detroit, I think, was challenging them. Yeah. They got guys that can, put together a string of defensive stops. Neesmith, can get after it defensively. Miles Turner is, okay protecting the rim, but they're not as physically imposing as those first two teams that the Knicks have faced. So, I think on the offensive end, I think we'll see, Brunson and Cat, I think, be a lot more efficient and, kind of be let off the leash a bit. They won't have so much pressure on them defensively as I feel like they've had in the first 2 matchups.
Respect. What do the Pacers do?
I mean, they gotta keep playing fast. Don't want to just play in the half court against New York. Obviously, they got a lot of guys that they can throw at Halliburton, McHale, OG. I mean, OG might guard Siakam. They'll be everywhere. I mean, we saw the impact OG had on that series last year. Once he kind of went down, that kind of changed the whole series. So I mean, yeah, Pacers, they just gotta rebound. I saw some stat earlier. I think Mitchell Robinson. I forgot what the exact stat was. I don't know if it was offensive rebound percentage or rate per 48, something like that. But currently, he has like the highest of that of anybody ever in a postseason run.
That's right.
So we've seen in his minutes that he's a demon on the glass. He impacts the game defensively. So he's going to be key for New York. But the Pacers, to get out and run and play fast, they got to be able to rebound the ball and not have the Knicks just, getting all these offensive rebounds and getting second chance opportunities and slowing the game down, letting Brunson just pick them apart. So, I think if they play fast, they rebound, they've got a decent chance. This is a toss up to me. I mean, it's a pick 'em series for me. I think you can make the case for either team winning. Like I said, offensively, they've been off the charts. They don't turn the ball over. They don't beat themselves. Really good team, but I'm going to go with New York in 7. I think Brunson, good luck stopping that man. Like I said, I think defensively, I think the first 2 series posed a tougher matchup. I think that's why you see Cat and Brunson maybe not have the efficiency numbers that you expect from them, but I don't really see anybody on the Pacers being able to kind of contain them. I mean, you go against the Pistons and, you think about Sor Thompson and other guys that they can put on them. You got the defending champs, the Celtics. You're thinking about Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Derek White. And I think about the Pacers defensively, it's Nesmith, and, that's pretty much it. That didn't stop Brunson from averaging like 30 against them last year in the playoffs. So I don't think that nothing stopped him this year. Just feels like it's the Knicks' time, which is a weird thing to say. Never thought I would say that.
Oh, hold on. Ha! Don't start right here.
It feels like it is the Knicks' time.
I want to believe you.
It's a toss-up, but I'm rocking with the Knicks.
I want to believe you when you say that, man. I really do. I'm gonna take your word for it. I mean, I like what you said about how the Pacers play offensively. But I more importantly like, the fact that you brought up the defensive matchups that the Knicks have kind of dealt with prior to, and I feel like, that's our chance to take advantage, right? Cat had a pretty quiet Celtics series, if we're being honest, right? I mean, he had some decent numbers, right, but it was pretty quiet. Um, this year against the Pacers, Cat has a 30-point game and a 40-point game. I think this is a big series for him, right? I think Brunson. I think last year they kind of figured out, or we know how they're going to guard Brunson, right? It's going to be a little bit of Nembhard. They're going to go a little bit of Nesmith. They might bring in McConnell. They're going to pick him up, full court and make him earn it. But, to your point, also, they're not the defenders that Drew Holiday and Derek White and, Thompson are. But my main worry for the Knicks is the simple fact that I think when you talk about that Pacers offense, it all starts with Tyrese Halliburton. It all starts with the way that they push the tempo. They find open shooters. They have one of the best skip passes in the game. They skip the ball across. They get wide open threes in transition. And they'll do it in the half court. And I think if the Knicks already struggle with guarding the 3 ball, we saw the Celtics series, right? Obviously, the Pacers are not the 3-point shooting team that the Boston Celtics are, right? They're not going to take those shots. But the way that they play, the way that they push pace, then they run on misses, they run on makes. I see them giving us trouble in us rotating and giving up a lot of open threes, right? That's my fear. That's something that I've seen it before. Right, and like you said, if the Knicks come out and start slow, I can see us going down 20 in Indiana, and they're yelling and they're clapping, and it's like, well, we're floating here, right? We're floating. I think the Knicks have to make the Pacers uncomfortable, right? I think it can't be the drop coverage needs to stay gone. They tried to bring it back, and I think it was game 3, and we got exposed, or it might have been game 5, whatever. We brought it back against Boston after having not done it. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good. You need to be able, I think you need to trap Halliburton sometimes just to get the ball out of his hands. I think you got to be willing to switch sometimes and just let him dance with Cat. I mean, I think, like you said, OG is going to be big in this series. I feel like when we played him last year, while OG was around, Siakam was pretty quiet. He was pretty he didn't really do a whole lot. Him and OG kind of went at it, and I think that helped us. I like my guys, man. Of course, I like my guy. I think the dramatics of it all. Everybody wants it to go 7. I don't see it going 7.
Got to get 7 of these.
Nah, I don't see it getting. I don't think y'all get that from us. I like the extended break that we got too. Right, I'm kind of surprised that we got the Wednesday game. When the Thunder series ended on Sunday and they now playing on Tuesday.
That is crazy.
Which is wild. Our series was done. What was that, Saturday?
Friday, wasn't it?
Friday. Yeah, Friday. Cool. I'll take it. So, if the Knicks can, take care of the ball, if the Knicks can, play well in transition defense, identify shooters, not give up a bunch of nonsense, I think we'll be fine. All right, we gotta contain
Pacers depth versus the Knicks 6-man rotation.
We're gonna go 7.
6.5.
We'll go 7. Maybe go 7.5. I think obviously out the starting 5 will play. Deuce McBride's gonna play. Mitchell Robinson's gonna play. That's 7. Now, do you get Campaign or do you get Precious Achiuwa? That's up to be seen. I'm gonna keep bargaining for my boy Landry Shamet to get a couple minutes. And I think in this series he might get some minutes. Just to add another shooter, but I think Cat's gonna be the deciding factor in this series, to get back to all of that. I think this series has got to be his series. He's got to show that Miles Turner can't touch him.
Miles Turner, is pretty good, but when he has to guard an offensively talented center, more times than not, that guy's good. Remember, AD had like 30 and something, 40 and something against him in the play-in championship. I mean, Embiid gets 30 and 40 every time he sees Miles Turner. Jokic, 30-point triple-double every time he sees Miles Turner. We know what Giannis does when he sees the Pacers. May not win, but he's still getting his 30, so...
Yeah, I'm just looking at the last 4 times Cat played him. He played him 3 times with the Knicks, once with obviously the last time was with the Timberwolves. He had 40, 12, and 4. His first game as a Knick against him, 21 and 15. He had 30 and 9, and then he had 40 and 12. And he shot 60%, 45%, 57.9%, 60.9% in those games. That's what I need. If I get that, Knicks are 5.
This is serious for Cat to get off.
We need it. We only play really 5 guys. So everybody got to play hard. And then Mitchell Robinson and Miles McBride just do what you do.
Foul trouble too.
Absolutely. I feel bad because I've been saying this for a while now. My favorite lineup is the Brunson, Mikal, OG, Cat, and Mitch lineup. I love that lineup. Or you can even take out OG, or you can take out
the score wrong.
Or you can take Cat off. You can take anybody off. If you take Josh Hart off, and then you put Mitch in there with Cat, the other 2 guys don't matter as long as it's not Josh Hart. That's the best lineup the Knicks have every time. And I want to see more of that lineup. I think Josh Hart provides a lot for us, and we need to obviously play him. He should play. He guards. He plays hard. He rebounds. Hustle plays. But we need to get offensive. If we're gonna run,
I feel like he's great in transition.
No, not
yes. I feel like this is 2K. He'd have Hall of Fame one-man fast break,
and being able to kick ahead. Shaq so really he gets rebound, one man fast break finish. That's fine. But Josh Hart doesn't need to play 48 minutes every single game. He does not need to do that. We need to make Mikal have to be an offensive threat. We need to make OG have to be an offensive threat. Make them be playmakers, have the ball in their hands, do stuff. And then let Mitchell Robinson save us with the rebounds. Absolute dog. My Knicks about to go to the finals. Prepare to be sick.
I'm jealous.
Prepare to be sick of me.
I'm rooting for you. I want you to be happy.
I do too.
I'm not a hater like you. I hope your team wins it all.
I don't believe
I would
it,
like
but
to see you at a Knicks parade. That's how much of a good friend I am. I want to see you happy.
Appreciate that.
And then you'll come back next year and you'll slander my Sixers every week.
Can we just say I told you this was going to happen?
We don't have to. We can skip that part.
All right. I can't believe this.
I told you so. They're kind of corny.
I wasn't trying to. I mean, it is what it is. I really wanted to talk about how I told you Knicks was going to make it. Even though I was like blowing smoke out my ass. Pause.
Game still got to be played.
Yeah. We got to get it done. Job not done. Job not finished.
Good luck to you.
So you got Knicks, Thunder.
I got Knicks, Thunder.
All right. I got Knicks and Timberwolves.
Honestly, I really do hope that's the case. I would prefer it. I
can't let Halliburton see a play NBA Finals. Not in my NBA. Can't happen. Halliburton cannot.
It's possible.
I love that.
Pacers Thunder would be
nope
nasty.
It would not be fun.
I would watch it.
It'd be like watching almost the same team, except one's much better.
Two great offensive teams that don't turn the ball over.
Two teams that are pretty much the same, but one's a lot better.
They both in the finals at that point. Anything can happen.
I wouldn't watch it. I'll tell you that. Wake me up when it's over.
I think that would be for different reasons why you wouldn't watch it.
Just know I'm not gonna watch it if that happens.
I'll keep you updated if it happens.
We'll leave it there then, brother. But we'll see how this goes, man. By the time you all hear this, we'll be one game in to each. So we'll see how it's going. We'll pop back in. Keep showing love. We're going to wrap this episode up right now. That's season 3, episode 93 of the 2 for 2 podcast. Keep showing love on all platforms, man. We got you on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker. I think I said everything. TikTok, Twitter. If I didn't, you know where to find us. We're going to keep this thing rolling. 2 for 2 pod. Keith Snell. That's going to do it for us. 2 for 2. We out.